Hey, I'm Valerie with eXp Realty and the Greco Group here in South Carolina's beautiful Lowcountry, and this is What's Your Dirt Worth? Today, we're talking about cleared land versus uncleared land and what that really means in terms of value, cost, and usability for landowners. One of the most common assumptions I see people make when buying land is that cleared land is always better and uncleared land is automatically a problem. The reality is, sometimes that's true, but it doesn't tell the whole story. Cleared versus uncleared land impacts things like cost, timing, flexibility, and sometimes even the resale. The real challenge is that buyers often don't think about these things until they're A, already under contract, B, out of due diligence, or worse, C, already closed on the property. When people hear the words cleared land, they usually assume that means the lot is ready to build on. Sometimes that's the case, but more often than not, it isn't. Cleared land simply means that trees and vegetation have been removed. It does not automatically mean utilities are in place, the soil is suitable, or that a house can be dropped on the property the day after closing. What cleared land does offer is visibility. Buyers can immediately see the shape of the lot, large parcels aside, where a home might sit and where things like a well and septic could go if private utilities are needed. You can also see how the property relates to the road frontage, and neighboring parcels and homes. And since we are in the Lowcountry, water access is kind of a big deal to some. Being able to see what the view might look like is incredibly important for many buyers. Some people also appreciate being able to walk the property at high and low tide to understand what dock or boating access could look like. Bottom line, cleared land makes it much easier for people to visualize plans, especially for buyers who struggle to picture possibilities when looking at uncleared property. From a cost standpoint, cleared land can feel more expensive up front. I get it. But keep in mind, it wasn't always cleared. The seller has already absorbed that preparation cost. Sometimes they did it to increase the value, sometimes because they actually had plans to put a home on the property themselves, and sometimes they just wanted to help it sell faster. As you can see, cleared land often makes the process feel smoother, especially for buyers who want to move forward quickly with building a home. On the other hand, you have uncleared land. This tends to scare a lot of people. The truth is, uncleared land offers just as many perks as cleared land for the right person. There are simply more variables to consider. This is where people get scared off. Some buyers prefer uncleared land because it offers more flexibility. How much do I actually want to clear? Wouldn't it be nice if we were able to keep that beautiful tree? Couldn't you just see us sitting underneath it reading a book in the backyard in the future? The flexibility can also impact where a home is placed on the lot. Of course, the smaller the lot, the less flexibility you have, but those folks are often looking for exactly that. There are also lesser thought of benefits like drainage, for example. Again, this is the Lowcountry, not very high above sea level. Completely clearing a lot and later realizing you should have kept vegetation to help absorb rainwater can be a really costly mistake. Nobody wants standing water in their yard every time it rains, especially when you're trying to enjoy outdoor living here. Where buyers really get caught off guard is when they don't think about the time, the cost, or the logistics involved in clearing land, or whether they're even allowed to clear it. Wetlands, buffers, and local ordinances all come into play here. And if the property's in a neighborhood, it's critical to read the covenants and restrictions so you actually understand what you can and can't do and remove. Having someone guide you through that process is really helpful. The real difference between cleared and uncleared land isn't about which one is better. It's about what the land allows you to do and how much work it takes to get there. Some buyers value saving time and reducing uncertainty. Others prefer having more control and are willing to be patient and plan carefully. The question really becomes, what do you value? This is where buyers often focus too much on the purchase price instead of asking what the land is actually worth to them. Clearing, preparation, and site work all factor into that value, not just the list price. So, when people ask me, what's my dirt worth? And I respond by asking whether the land is cleared or uncleared, I'm trying to understand the factors that either add value or add cost, depending on the goals. I'm Valerie with eXp Realty and the Greco Group here in South Carolina's Lowcountry, and this is exactly the kind of thing I help people work through every day. Don't hesitate to reach out if you need a little help too.